Squawk Talk. It's me. We're ready to kick off another episode of Squawk Talk. I'm host Hardy Moore, Auburn fan, football analyst, and today we'll be going over some recruits. Gertie, can you stop? Stop it. Sorry, my dog's behaving badly. Anyways, I'll be going over some recruits. So here we go. First guy we will be going over is a man named Horatio Fields. He is a receiver from Wake Forest that we picked up. He is 6'3", he is 205 pounds, and we will be going over his stats in just a second. First thing we'll be going over is because he's a wide receiver, is his receiving. He had 39 receptions, 463 receiving yards. His longest receiving yards on one singular play was a 42-yard receiving. I don't know what to call it. Gertie, what is it, potato? He has an 11.9 yard average, and he has 4 touchdowns on the season when it comes to his pass receiving. The next thing we'll be talking about is his scoring. He has scored 4 times, and that's about it. He has 24 points on the season, by the way. So yeah. And then the very last thing would be his defense. He really doesn't have anything on defense. Just know that he played a snap. So that's all you gotta know. He might play defense too. So hoping he does. Be good to have a two-way player. That'd be kind of fun. Alright. So yeah, that's what that is. The next guy I will be talking about is a man named Eric Singleton Jr. He is from Georgia Tech. He is 5'11", and he weighs 190 pounds. So these are his stats. First things first is his receiving. Last season, he had 56 receptions, 754 yards, and a 13.5 average yardage on a gain, and 3 touchdowns and a 57 yards was his longest gain. In his career, he has had a total of 104 receptions, 1,468 yards, a 14.1 yard average on the gains, 9 touchdowns, and 58 yards is his longest play. So yeah, that is his career and 2024 stats. Rushing in 2024 consists of 21 carries, 131 rushing yards, 6.2 yard average, and 1 touchdown, with his longest rush being 35 yards. His career rushing consists of 22 total carries, 140 yards total, a 6.4 yard average, 1 touchdown, and 35 is still his longest. So that's his rushing for 2024 and his all-time rushing. On defense, he's played a total of 1 snap on 2024. He had 1 solo, and in his career, he's had 3 total snaps and 2 solo plays with 1 assist. 2 solo tackles, and he's only had 1 assist. So yeah, that's his career for defense and his 2024 defense. So yeah. And yes, he has passed. He only passed once in 2023. He had 1 completion. He threw for 8 yards, and it was an 8. Yeah. He really had an 8-yard pass in 2023. He hadn't done it since, but, it still happened. So that's, I guess that's insane too, huh? And last but not least, for Eric Singleton Jr., we have a scoring. So in 2024, he had 1 rushing touchdown. He had 4 touchdowns. 3 of them were receiving, 1 of them was rushing. And so that's his whole entire career. 9 of them are receiving, 1 of them is rushing, and 10 of them are touchdowns. So yeah, he scored 60 total points, and last year he scored 24 points. So yeah, that is him on his scoring. Very last guy on the list is a man. He's a running back from UConn, but now he's playing for the Tigers. His name is Durell Robinson. He is 6'1" in height, and he is 200 pounds in width. So time to go over his stats. First things first is his scoring. So not his scoring, sorry, I meant to say his rushing. So in 2024, he had 107 carries, 731 yards, a 6.8 yard average, 8 touchdowns, and 68 yards was his longest rush. In his career, he's had 147 carries, 897 yards, a 6.1 yard average, 9 touchdowns, and the same thing for his longest carry. Next up is his receiving. So in 2024, he had 14 receptions, 75 yards, an average of 5.4 yards per game, and 0 touchdowns, and his longest receiving yardage was 19 yards. In his career, he's had 15 receptions, 89 yards, a 5.9 yard average, 0 touchdowns, and still it was 19 on that. The last thing in this video I'm focusing on is his scoring. So he scored 0 passing touchdowns. So when he hadn't thrown for any touchdowns, he has rushed for 8 touchdowns in 2024, 0 receiving touchdowns. He's rushed for 8 total touchdowns, and his longest rush. Not his longest rush. I don't know why I said that. He's gotten 48 points on this season. In his career, he's had 0 throwing touchdowns, 9 rushing touchdowns, 0 receiving touchdowns, 9 touchdowns total, and 54 total points. So that is the last I will be focusing on a single player until next episode, but I do have one more thing to say. Our season will be the same as it was 15 years ago. Goodbye. Thanks for coming to Squawk Talk. And War Eagle.